Hello and welcome to a brand new Player 2 Plays. My name is Paul James and today we are playing the full release of Detroit Become Human. You have seen one demo already played via this channel. That was the demo that was made available a few weeks ago. But today I'm playing for you the full release and we're going to a scene that was fairly controversial in the lead up to the game's release. Part of the big promotional thing, there was a quote-unquote domestic violence scene that kind of ruffled a few feathers, but we never really got to see through the course of that playthrough how this thing actually transpired, what context there was. There was a lot of controversy without a lot of people having necessarily the fullest amount of knowledge. So this is your chance to see exactly what that entails. So let's go along for the ride. Now I've finished the game, so essentially means at this point I can boot up any chapter I want, pick up from any point, explore alternate pathways. I'm just going to play it however I feel here. I might make a few choices differently to what I've done before, but I'm not going to talk about what's happened before. You can just kind of see what happens. So we'll have this experience together, and it is what it is. So yes, there was a bit of controversy that surrounded this whole scene, but I am playing as Kara in this point. She's essentially a caretaker android, or housemaid, I guess, of sorts. There's already been one scene where she's been taken home and she's kind of cleaned up around the house for Todd, the father, and Alice, the daughter. And we're picking up at night. It's family dinner time. Things aren't fantastic. Todd's already had one explosion.
Todd?
You can opt to have subtitles off if you prefer.
Dinner is ready.
Yeah, I'm coming.
So serve food, so you can see a couple of plates sitting up there on the table. I'll bring these over to the dining table.
There wasn't much in the kitchen. I did what I could.
Some spaghetti bowl or something like that from the looks of it. Where was the light again?
Turn on the lights! Can't see shit.
So by pressing R2 you actually get this kind of scan ability. It essentially freezes time. You can take a look around, see what there is to see, what you can or cannot interact with. You can see behind me this little yellow prompt indicates the light. So I'll go over and flick it on.
Life's funny. I lost my job because of androids. Then when I need somebody to take care of this goddamn house, what do? I go out and hire a fucking android.
So there is some gyro here. I was tilting the control to pull the water.
Of course, androids are so fucking wonderful. They never fail. They're never tired. Never sad. They're so fucking perfect. They ruined my fucking life. What are you looking at?
And this is where things get a little ugly.
What's your fucking problem? Not the life you dreamed of, eh?
And so if this scene, I told you there's kind of a domestic violence scene here. If this is potentially a little confronting,
It's my fault.
then I'd encourage you to maybe turn it off.
It's my fault your fucking mother took off. You should stop taking drugs, Todd. Sometimes you really scare me, Todd. Fucking bitch took off without a word. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking accountant. It's all your fault.
Daddy, no!
It's all your fucking fault. Get back here. Come back here. Come back here right now! it's her fault. You stay there.
Now this is a pivotal point in the development of Kara's character, essentially. So what we learn is that the androids can go deviant, and that's usually a surge of emotion, essentially, or commands that kind of conflict, cause a lot of confusion, and they can break through that. Now in this particular case, I'm going to break through that as Kara, otherwise I will just remain standing while Todd does whatever he does. And I haven't actually explored the outcome this way. I feel like the right thing to do is to go and protect Alice here, so that is exactly what I intend to do. QTEs kick in. And this is her kind of breaking through her commands, I guess, or her programming. She has now gone deviant. I'm not going to reason with Todd. Now Alice's room is up the end. Though, there's an important thing that I discovered in an earlier playthrough in those drawers.
That's enough! Leave her alone.
What the fuck are you doing? Put down the gun and get the fuck out of here. That's an order!
Now in my initial playthrough, I actually got to Alice before Todd, and so as a result, we had the opportunity to escape first.
You're gonna shoot me, is that it? Are you gonna shoot a human? You seem to have a problem. I think we need to fix that.
Watch out, Kara!
Come here, bitch.
Stop, Dad! Don't hurt her! Leave her alone!
This is actually a new way of it playing out to me.
You do as I say.
And the outcome remained the same as what I experienced in my initial playthrough. The way it happened very different, and there are absolutely different outcomes, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But Kara has killed Todd in this case, in defense of Alice, and the escape begins. Now typically on the bus, and this is not a huge deal, but typically on the bus there is a compartment at the rear for androids, and then humans sit at the front. I don't know if they're going to show that in this particular bit, but it obviously symbolises quite a bit that Kara is joining Alice at the front there. But that is the scene. No, I wasn't saving. But we can see the entire way that the story kind of plays out here, and we can follow that pathway. From the moment that Todd got mad all the way through to my breaking of the programming, but you can see that if I decided not to, that story ends very quickly. Kara becomes deviant, we head upstairs. You can see that the ability is there to get away from Todd before he reaches, or get to Alice before Todd. You can see that I've kind of gone down that pathway in the past. Those grayed out ones are ones that I've already explored before, but there's also a lot that I didn't do. And that really allows for multiple playthroughs. Certain things won't be available to you dependent on what you've found in previous chapters. So you can see this gun scene in the New Home portion here. A New Home was a chapter that I did, in terms of this overall story, maybe half an hour earlier. But I wouldn't have known the gun was there had I not found it in my initial search. Maybe you could stumble upon it. I don't know. But yeah, there's a few different ways that this thing can play out. It's really quite expansive. You can see there's a very, very large portion that I didn't follow, but you can see how my story, so get to Alice before Todd, run away, fail to hide, Todd takes Alice to her room, it ended up intersecting with the story that we then just experienced, and it played out the same way from there. But there's still so many combinations and permutations available, and anything that happens in this one chapter can then extend to others that come afterwards. So it's a really interesting concept, that butterfly effect. There's so much choice, so much scale, so much going on. And even in this one chapter alone, I've completed just 30% of it. So imagine that over the 30 plus chapters that you play through in the entire experience. There's a lot to kind of consume. You can see a little bit of Alice's opinion or public opinion there. And this is very early days in the game. So that is, I better pause that there. That is Detroit Become Human. That is a slice of the full release. That is my playthrough of what was a very controversial scene. And it's one that's the first time I've returned to that particular scene, and it played out slightly differently. And there's a whole bunch of ways it can go. If you enjoyed it, Detroit Become Human comes out tomorrow. You can check out my review of it at player2.net.au, so please make sure to visit the website for that. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. That'll allow you to get access to weekly episodes of Patched, the Video Games Club, The Insider, Player 2 Plays, the Late Game Review, and much more. So please consider hitting that notification bell so you're alerted to every video as it goes live. Again, the website allows you access to reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, the Player 2 Writer's Draft, heaps more. So again, visit player2.net.au. Consider going to Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Consider kicking in a few dollars. That gets you early access to some episodes, exclusive episodes at higher tiers, and at the top tier, you can join us in the monthly Player 2 podcast. Find me at PaulJamesP2 on Twitter. The website, you'll find it Player2au on Twitter. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. That was Detroit Become Human. Cheers.